you could conquer most of the known world before turning 33. Hi, I'm Alexander the Great. I was born in Macedon in 356 BC and was taught by one of the greatest philosophers in history, Aristotle. From a young age, I dreamed of exploring and achieving greatness. When I became king at just 20 years old, I led my army across Asia, defeating the powerful Persian Empire in a series of remarkable victories. My leadership, courage, and brilliant military strategies helped build one of the largest empires of the ancient world, stretching from Greece to Egypt and as far as India. Wherever I traveled, I founded new cities and encouraged the sharing of ideas, culture, science, and learning between different civilizations. One of the most famous cities I established was Alexandria in Egypt, which later became a major center of knowledge and education. Although my life ended at the age of 32, my achievements changed history forever and influenced generations of leaders around the world. I'm Alexander the Great, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Can discipline and courage change the future of a nation? Hi, I'm Antonio Luna. I was born in Manila in 1866. Before becoming a general, I studied science and earned a degree in pharmacy. But when my country needed defenders, I chose to serve the Philippines. During the Philippine-American War, I became the commanding general of the Philippine Revolutionary Army. I believed that a strong army needed discipline, training, and unity. I worked hard to organize Filipino soldiers into a professional fighting force. I also planned defensive strategies, including the famous Luna defense line, to slow the advance of enemy forces, even during difficult times. I continued leading from the front and inspired many soldiers with my courage and determination. Although my life was cut short in 1899, my dedication made me one of the nation's greatest military heroes. Today, I am remembered for my bravery, leadership, and unwavering commitment to Philippine independence. My story reminds us that true leadership means serving your country with honor, discipline, and sacrifice. I'm Antonio Luna, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
What if the greatest victory wasn't winning a war, but choosing peace? Hi, I'm Ashoka the Great. I was born around 304 BC and became emperor of the Mauryan Empire, one of the largest empires in ancient India. I was known as a brave and powerful ruler who expanded my kingdom through many successful campaigns. But everything changed after the Battle of Kalinga. Seeing the suffering caused by war deeply saddened me. I realized that compassion and kindness were more powerful than violence. From that day on, I devoted my life to promoting peace, justice, and respect for all people. I built roads, hospitals, wells, and rest houses to improve the lives of my people. I also ordered messages about kindness, honesty, and good leadership to be carved onto stone pillars across my empire. Many of these pillars can still be seen today. Ashoka also helped spread Buddhism across Asia, leaving a legacy that continues to inspire millions around the world. His story reminds us that true greatness comes not only from strength, but from wisdom, mercy, and compassion. I'm Ashoka the Great, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Can one leader bring peace to an empire after years of war? Hi, I'm Augustus. I was born as Gaius Octavius in 63 BC. I was the adopted son and heir of Julius Caesar. After Caesar's death, Rome faced years of civil war, and many people feared the empire would never recover. Through careful leadership and smart decisions, I defeated my rivals and became Rome's first emperor in 27 BC. The Roman Senate gave me the title Augustus, which means the revered one. During my reign, I introduced many big reforms. I strengthened the government, improved the army, expanded roads, and encouraged trade throughout the empire. My rule marked the beginning of the Pax Romana, a period of peace and stability that lasted for about 200 years. Under my leadership, magnificent temples and public buildings were constructed, transforming Rome into one of the greatest cities in the world. Great leaders are remembered not only for winning battles, but also for building peace and a stronger future for their people. I'm Augustus, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories. See you in the next adventure into the past. Bye-bye.
What does it mean to truly love your country? Hi, I'm Andres Bonifacio. I was born in Manila in 1863. My family was poor, and after losing my parents at a young age, I worked hard to support my brothers and sisters. Even without a formal college education, I loved reading books about freedom, history, and the rights of all people. In 1892, I founded the Katipunan, a secret revolutionary society that sought independence from Spanish colonial rule. I believed that every Filipino deserved freedom and the chance to govern their own nation when peaceful. Reforms failed. The Philippine Revolution began in 1896. I inspired thousands of ordinary Filipinos to unite with courage and fight for a better future. Although the journey was difficult, our dream of independence continued to inspire generations. Today, I am honored as the father of the Philippine Revolution. My story reminds us that true heroes are not measured by wealth or power, but by their courage, sacrifice, and love for their country. I'm Andres Bonifacio, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
What does it take to unite tribes and build the largest continuous land empire in history? Hi, I'm Genghis Khan. I was born as Temujin around 1162 on the Mongolian steppe. My childhood was filled with hardship, but those challenges taught me resilience, leadership, and determination. As I grew older, I united many rival Mongol tribes that had fought each other for generations. Together, we built a powerful and disciplined army known for its speed, skill, and strategy. My empire eventually stretched across much of Asia and into Europe, connecting distant cultures through trade, communication, and travel. The famous Silk Road became safer in many regions under Mongol rule, allowing merchants and ideas to move more freely. Although my military campaigns were also marked by devastating wars and great loss of life, my leadership transformed the history of Eurasia and had a lasting impact on politics, trade, and cultural exchange. My story reminds us that leadership can reshape the world, and history often includes both remarkable achievements and profound human costs. I'm Genghis Khan, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Is the greatest warrior the one who fights, or the one who never stops learning? Hi, I'm Miyamoto Musashi. I was born in Japan around 1584 and became one of the most famous samurai in history. From a young age, I trained tirelessly, believing that true mastery came through discipline, patience, and constant practice. Throughout my life, I won many famous duels and became known for my unique sword fighting style, using both a long sword and a short sword at the same time. My skill and strategy earned the respect of warriors across Japan. But I wasn't only a swordsman. I was also an artist, a calligrapher, and a philosopher. Near the end of my life, I wrote the Book of Five Rings, a classic work on strategy, leadership, and self-improvement. It is a guide that is still read around the world today, helping people become better versions of themselves. My story teaches us that real strength comes not only from skill, but also from wisdom, discipline, and the desire to keep improving. I'm Miyamoto Musashi, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Have you ever wondered who helped create one of the world's very first calculators? Hi, I'm Blaise Pascal. I was born in France in 1623 and from a very young age. I love solving puzzles and exploring mathematics. My father recognized my curiosity and encouraged me to keep learning. When I was only 19 years old, I invented the Pascaline, one of the first successful mechanical calculators. I created it to help my father, who worked as a tax collector, perform long and difficult calculations much faster. But I didn't stop there. I made important discoveries in mathematics, geometry, and probability. Together with other great thinkers, I helped lay the foundation for probability theory, which is still used today in science, economics, engineering, and even artificial intelligence. I also studied physics and discovered important ideas about air pressure and vacuums. In fact, the International Unit of Pressure, the Pascal, is named after me in honor of my contributions to science. And why work proved that curiosity, imagination, and hard work can lead to inventions that change the world. I'm Blaise Pascal, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Can one king unite much of Europe and shape its future for centuries? Hi, I'm Charlemagne. I was born around 742 AD and became king of the Franks. Through courage, leadership, and determination, I united much of Western and Central Europe under one empire. I worked to strengthen my kingdom by improving education, encouraging learning, and supporting the construction of schools, churches, and libraries. Because of these efforts, many historians call this period the Carolingian Renaissance, a time when knowledge and culture flourished. On Christmas Day in the year 800, I was crowned emperor by the Pope in Rome. This event became one of the most important moments in European history and helped shape the future of medieval Europe. Although I was a skilled military leader, I also believed that a strong empire needed educated people, fair laws, and good government. My influence can still be seen in the history of many European nations today. My story reminds us that lasting greatness comes not only from victories, but also from building a stronger future through learning, leadership, and unity. I'm Charlemagne, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Nature became my greatest teacher, and it changed science forever. Hi, I'm Charles Darwin. By studying plants, animals, and fossils, I developed the theory of evolution by natural selection. My discoveries helped explain how living things change and adapt over many generations. My work transformed biology and continues to shape our understanding of life on Earth. I'm Charles Darwin, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Can a great leader build an empire through both strength and kindness? Hi, I'm Cyrus the Great. I was born around 600 BC and became the founder of the mighty Persian Empire, one of the largest empires of the ancient world. From a young age, I believed that a ruler should earn the respect of people, not only through victory, but also through fairness. As I expanded my empire, I united many different nations, cultures, and languages under one government. Instead of forcing everyone to live the same way, I allowed many people to keep their own traditions, religions, and customs. One of my most famous achievements was capturing the city of Babylon in 539 BC with relatively little destruction. After the victory, I allowed many captive peoples, including the Jewish exiles, to return to their homelands and rebuild their communities. Because of his policies of tolerance and wise leadership, many historians remember Cyrus as one of history's greatest rulers. His legacy continues to inspire ideas about justice, leadership, and respect for different cultures. I'm Cyrus the Great, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. The tiniest living things can have the biggest impact on our lives. Hi, I'm Louis Pasteur. I proved that germs can cause disease and helped develop the germ theory that transformed modern medicine. I also created the process of pasteurization, making food and drink safer for millions of people around the world. My discoveries led to life-saving vaccines and healthier communities for generations. I'm Louis Pasteur, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. What does it feel like to raise your country's flag for the very first time? Hi, I'm Emilio Aguinaldo. I was born in Kawit, Cavite, in 1869. As a young man, I joined the Philippine Revolution and became one of its military leaders, helping lead battles for our nation's independence. In 1898, after years of struggle, I proclaimed the independence of the Philippines on June 12th at my home in Kawit. On that historic day, the Philippine flag was officially raised, and the national anthem was played for the first time. I later became the first president of the Philippines, leading the first Philippine Republic, the first constitutional republic in Asia. Although our country continued to face many challenges, we never gave up on the dream of freedom. Today, I am remembered as an important figure in Philippine history whose leadership played a major role in the nation's fight for independence. My story reminds us that freedom is achieved through courage, sacrifice, and unity. I'm Emilio Aguinaldo, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
I looked up at the night sky and saw a universe no one had seen before. Hi, I'm Galileo Galilei. Using my improved telescope, I discovered that Jupiter has 4 large moons and made observations that changed astronomy forever. My discoveries provided strong evidence that Earth is not the center of the universe, helping transform the way we understand space. My curiosity inspired generations of scientists to keep exploring the stars. I'm Galileo Galilei, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. What makes a true hero? Strength or loyalty? Hi, I'm Guan Yu. I lived during China's Three Kingdoms period and became one of the most respected generals in history. Alongside Liu Bei and Zhang Fei, I swore an oath of brotherhood to protect the people and fight for justice. I became famous for my bravery, honesty, and loyalty. Whether facing impossible battles or difficult choices, I stayed true to my promises. My legendary green dragon crescent blade became a symbol of my courage on the battlefield. Over the centuries, my story spread throughout Asia. Many people came to admire me not only as a great warrior, but also as a symbol of honor, righteousness, and integrity. In many places, I am honored as a guardian of justice, and merchants, soldiers, and police officers look to me as an example. My story teaches us that real greatness isn't measured only by victories it is earned through loyalty, honesty, and keeping your word. I'm Guan Yu, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Would you cross giant mountains with elephants to surprise your enemy? Hi, I'm Hannibal Barca. I was born in Carthage around 47 BC and became one of the greatest military commanders in history. From a young age, I was taught strategy, courage, and leadership. During the Second Punic War, I led my army on one of history's most daring journeys. We crossed the towering Alps with soldiers, horses, and even wore elephants to reach Italy, something many believed was impossible. My greatest victory came at the Battle of Cannae, where my smaller army defeated a much larger Roman force using brilliant tactics that military leaders still study today. Although Carthage did not win the war, my creativity, determination, and leadership earned me a place among history's greatest generals. More than 2,000 years later, military academies around the world continue to learn from my strategies. I'm Hannibal Barca, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. I followed the stars and helped others find freedom. Hi, I'm Harriet Tubman. After escaping slavery, I courageously returned many times to guide other enslaved people to freedom through the Underground Railroad. My bravery, determination, and compassion gave hope to countless families seeking a better future. My story continues to inspire people to stand up for freedom, justice, and courage. I'm Harriet Tubman, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
People laughed at my ideas, but they changed the world forever. Hi, I'm Isaac Newton. I discovered the laws of motion and explained gravity, helping people understand how everything moves from falling apples to planets in space. My discoveries became the foundation of modern physics, engineering, and even space exploration. Without my work, many of today's greatest inventions might not exist. I'm Isaac Newton, and this is why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
I was just a young girl, but I found the courage to change history. Hi, I'm Joan of Arc. I helped lead the French army during the 100 Years' War and inspired my people with faith, bravery, and determination. Although my life was short, my courage gave hope to a nation during one of its darkest times. Today, I am remembered as a symbol of courage, faith, and leadership. I'm Joan of Arc, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. I believe that knowledge could change a nation. Hi, I'm Jose Rizal. I was a writer, doctor, and patriot who inspired Filipinos through my books and peaceful fight for justice and freedom. My novels, Noli Me Tangere and El Filibusterismo, opened people's eyes to the struggles of our country. My courage and love for the Philippines continue to inspire generations around the world. I'm Jose Rizal, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. How does one man change the course of an empire? Hi, I'm Julius Caesar. I was born in Rome in 100 BC and grew up to become one of history's greatest military commanders and political leaders. Through determination, intelligence, and bold leadership, I earned the respect of my soldiers and the people of Rome. I led successful campaigns that brought much of modern-day France and neighboring regions under Roman control, greatly expanding the power and influence of Rome. My victories made me one of the most famous generals of the ancient world. Later, I became the dictator of Rome and introduced important reforms, including changes to government, public administration, and the calendar. The Julian calendar that bears my name became the basis for the calendar used in much of the world today. Although my life ended dramatically in 44 BC, my leadership transformed Roman history and paved the way for the rise of the Roman Empire under his adopted heir, Augustus. I'm Julius Caesar, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Would you stand your ground even against impossible odds? Hi, I'm Leonidas, king of Sparta. I lived in ancient Greece over 2,400 years ago. Sparta was famous for raising brave and disciplined warriors, and I was chosen to lead them. In 480 BC, the massive Persian army invaded Greece. Although they greatly outnumbered us, I led about 300 Spartan warriors and thousands of Greek allies to defend the narrow pass of Thermopylae. For days, we held back one of the largest armies the world had ever seen. Even when defeat became inevitable, we chose to stay and fight so that the rest of Greece could prepare its defenses. Our sacrifice became one of history's greatest examples of courage, duty, and selflessness. Today, The Battle of Thermopylae is remembered as a symbol of bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. I'm Leonidas, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
The tiniest living things can have the biggest impact on our lives. Hi, I'm Louis Pasteur. I proved that germs can cause disease and helped develop the germ theory that transformed modern medicine. I also created the process of pasteurization, making food and drink safer for millions of people around the world. My discoveries led to life-saving vaccines and healthier communities for generations. I'm Louis Pasteur, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Who is the strongest warrior of ancient China? Many people would answer, Lu Bu. Hi, I'm Lu Bu. I lived during the late Eastern Han Dynasty, a time filled with battles and powerful warlords. I became famous for my incredible strength, bravery, and unmatched fighting skills. Legends describe me as one of the greatest warriors of the Three Kingdoms era. I was known for riding my famous horse, Red Hair, and wielding the mighty Fengshen Huaji, a powerful halberd. My battlefield skills made even the strongest generals think twice before facing me. Although I was a fearless fighter, history also remembers me for changing alliances and making decisions that caused others to lose trust in me. My story reminds us that great strength alone is not enough honor, loyalty, and wise choices are just as important. Today, Lu Bu remains one of the most famous characters in Chinese history and literature, especially through the classic novel Romance of the Three Kingdoms. Where his legend became known around the world, I'm Lu Bu, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. I believe that peace could change the world. Hi, I'm Mahatma Gandhi. I helped lead India's fight for independence through non-violent resistance, proving that courage doesn't always require force. My message of truth, peace, and compassion inspired millions of people around the world. My ideas continue to encourage people to solve conflicts through understanding instead of violence. I'm Mahatma Gandhi, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
I had a dream that people could live together in peace and equality. Hi, I'm Martin Luther King Jr. I led the American Civil Rights Movement using peaceful protests to fight for equal rights and justice. My I Have a Dream speech inspired millions to believe in a future where everyone is treated with dignity and respect. My message of courage, hope, and equality continues to inspire the world today. I'm Martin Luther King Jr., and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Can a young officer rise to become one of history's greatest military leaders? Hi, I'm Napoleon Bonaparte. I was born on the island of Corsica in 1769. As a young boy, I loved studying mathematics, history, and military strategy. My determination and hard work helped me rise through the ranks of the French army. After the French Revolution, I won a series of remarkable victories that made me one of Europe's most famous generals. In 1804, I became Emperor of France and introduced major reforms that changed my country forever. One of my greatest achievements was the Napoleonic Code, a system of laws that promoted equality before the law, protected property rights, and influenced legal systems in many countries around the world. Although my empire eventually fell after years of war, my leadership and reforms left a lasting mark on world history. Today, military academies still study my strategies, and many of my ideas continue to influence modern governments. My story reminds us that ambition, discipline, and knowledge can shape history, but it also reminds us that great power comes with great responsibility. I'm Napoleon Bonaparte, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Have you ever dreamed of walking on the moon? Hi, I'm Neil Armstrong. I was born in Ohio, USA, in 1930. As a young boy, I loved airplanes and dreamed of flying higher than anyone had ever gone before. I became a pilot, an engineer, and later an astronaut. After years of training and hard work, I was chosen to command Apollo 11, the mission that would attempt the first landing on the moon. On July 20, 1969, I became the first person to walk on the moon. As I stepped onto the lunar surface, I said the famous words, "That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind." That historic mission showed what people can achieve through teamwork, courage, science, and determination. It inspired millions around the world to dream bigger and explore beyond our planet. My journey reminds us that even the biggest dreams can become reality with dedication and perseverance. I'm Neil Armstrong, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. I believe that forgiveness could be stronger than hatred. Hi, I'm Nelson Mandela. I spent many years in prison because I fought for equality and justice in South Africa. After my release, I helped unite a divided nation and became South Africa's first black president. My message of peace, courage, and forgiveness continues to inspire people around the world. I'm Nelson Mandela, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. What if you could change the way the world sees art? Hi, I'm Pablo Picasso. I was born in Spain in 1881, and even as a young child, I loved drawing. My father was an art teacher who noticed my talent and encouraged me to keep creating. As I grew older, I experimented with many different styles instead of painting the same way as everyone else. I believe that art should inspire people to think, imagine, and see the world differently. Together with another artist named Georges Braque, I helped develop Cubism, an art movement that showed objects from different angles at the same time. It completely changed modern art and inspired artists around the world. Throughout my life, I created thousands of paintings, sculptures, ceramics, and drawings. Some of my most famous works, including Guernica, became powerful symbols against war and violence. My creativity reminds us that there is no limit to imagination when we dare to think differently. I'm Pablo Picasso, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
What if your greatest adventure was waiting beyond the horizon? Hi, I'm Ragnar Lothbrok. I am one of the most famous Viking heroes in history and legend. My stories have been passed down for centuries through Norse sagas, inspiring people with tales of courage, exploration, and adventure. I dreamed of sailing farther than anyone before me, while many Vikings traveled east. I believed there were new lands waiting across the western seas. With my loyal crew and our powerful longships, we explored distant shores and carried the Viking name across Europe. Many stories describe me as a fearless warrior and wise leader who led daring raids and inspired generations of Viking explorers. Although historians still debate which parts of my story are historical and which are legendary, my name has become a lasting symbol of the Viking Age. My adventures also inspired the next generation of famous Viking leaders, including my legendary sons such as Bjorn Ironside and Ivar the Boneless. My story reminds us that courage isn't only about fighting, it's also about exploring the unknown and daring to chase your dreams. I'm Ragnar Lothbrok, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
What does it take to become one of the greatest pharaohs in history? Hi, I'm Ramesses II. I became pharaoh of Egypt over 3,000 years ago and ruled for an incredible 66 years, making me one of the longest reigning rulers of ancient Egypt. During my reign, I led military campaigns, expanded Egypt's influence, and ordered the construction of magnificent temples, monuments, and statues that still stand today. One of my greatest achievements was the magnificent temples of Abu Simbel, built to celebrate Egypt's strength and culture. I also signed one of the world's earliest known peace treaties after the Battle of Kadesh, showing that diplomacy can be just as important as victory in war. Because of my leadership and the many monuments I built, later generations called me Ramesses the Great. Thousands of years later, people from around the world still admire the incredible achievements of ancient Egypt during my reign. I'm Ramesses II, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. How do you defeat one of history's greatest generals? Hi, I'm Scipio Africanus. I was born in Rome around 236 BC and became one of the Roman Republic's greatest military commanders. As a young leader, I studied every battle carefully and learned from both victories and defeats. During the Second Punic War, Rome faced its greatest enemy Hannibal Barca. Instead of fighting him on his own terms, I led my army into North Africa, forcing Hannibal to return home to defend Carthage. In 200 BC, we met at the Battle of Zama. My soldiers and I used careful planning, discipline, and clever tactics to defeat Hannibal, bringing the war to an end and securing Rome's victory. Because of this historic achievement, I was given the title Africanus in honor of my victory in Africa. My leadership helped Rome become the dominant power of the Mediterranean for centuries to come. I'm Scipio Africanus, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. People knew me as an artist, but I dreamed far beyond paintings. Hi, I'm Leonardo da Vinci. I painted masterpieces like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper. But I was also an inventor, engineer, scientist, and visionary. I designed flying machines, studied human anatomy, and imagined inventions centuries ahead of my time. My creativity continues to inspire artists, scientists, and inventors around the world. I'm Leonardo da Vinci, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
Curiosity led me to discoveries that changed science forever. Hi, I'm Marie Curie. I discovered the elements polonium and radium, helping scientists unlock the mysteries of radioactivity. I became the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different scientific fields. My work transformed medicine, physics, and chemistry, saving countless lives through scientific progress. I'm Marie Curie, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
I dreamed of a world powered by electricity and helped make it possible. Hi, I'm Nikola Tesla. I developed the alternating current, or AC, electrical system that carries electricity across cities and countries. My inventions helped power homes, factories, and technologies that millions of people use every day. My ideas inspired generations of scientists and inventors to keep pushing the limits of innovation. I'm Nikola Tesla, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
People thought my ideas were impossible, but they changed the way we understand the universe. Hi, I'm Albert Einstein. I developed the theory of relativity, showing that space and time are connected in ways no one had imagined before. My famous equation, E equals mc squared, revealed the incredible relationship between energy and matter. My discoveries transformed modern physics and continue to shape technology and our understanding of the cosmos. I'm Albert Einstein, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.
What if a few words could live forever? Hi, I'm William Shakespeare. I was born in England in 1564, and I became one of the greatest writers and playwrights in history. My stories have entertained people for more than 400 years. I wrote around 39 plays, more than 150 sonnets, and many poems. My famous works include Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and A Midsummer Night's Dream. My plays explored love, friendship, ambition, jealousy, courage, and forgiveness, feelings that people still experience today. That's why audiences around the world continue to enjoy my stories. Many everyday English words and expressions became popular because of my writing, making a lasting impact on the English language. My imagination proved that stories have the power to inspire, teach, and bring people together across generations. I'm William Shakespeare, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history. Can one leader protect an entire nation with courage and brilliant strategy? Hi, I'm Sin. I was born in Korea in 1545 and became one of history's greatest naval commanders. From a young age, I believed that discipline, preparation, and determination could overcome even the strongest enemies. During the Imjin War, Japan launched a massive invasion of Korea. Although my navy was often outnumbered, I refused to give up. Instead, I carefully planned every battle and inspired my sailors to fight with courage. I became famous for leading the legendary turtle ships, some of the world's earliest armored warships. Their unique design and my battle strategies helped protect Korea's coastline and disrupt enemy supply lines. One of my greatest achievements came at the Battle of Maligayang. With only 13 ships, I faced a fleet of more than 100 enemy vessels and achieved an incredible victory through skill, leadership, and a deep understanding of the sea. Today, I am honored as Korea's greatest naval hero. My story reminds us that true leadership is not about having the biggest army, it is about courage, wisdom, and never losing hope. I'm Sin, and that's why history remembers me. Follow and subscribe to Naging Kasaysayan for more amazing stories from history.